Alright, installing my bumper, my season 1. As you can see, I took out the 4 bolts that hold on the headlights. 2 at the bottom right here, and 1 here and 1 there, and the whole assembly comes out. Disconnect the bulb and disconnect the motor. It just makes it easier so when you put the bumper on there, you can make your little marking with your pencil through the hole when you have it lined up where you want. And you can see I already have the mount hole where I had it before, and it's pretty close. Like, this one was dead on, but still I prefer to double check and make sure you got it lined up where you want it before you drill out the pre-existing holes. Just get your drill bit. I'm using a 1764. Okay, drill it out. I just do one at the top, put it back on, and then mark where you have the other ones. Okay, another thing is you don't have to do it, but I chose to do it because it just gets the bumper on easier. Is cut off a little piece of the metal bar here. You can see how much I took off. It's not that much, just a little corner piece right there. You can still manage to get it on even without cutting it, but it's very little clearance, only 1/2 inch. So take a Sawzall and just cut off that little lip there so you have more room in there to get your mount from your bumper. I did both sides. Sides cut too, just a little bit, and that's all I came off. Alright, got 1 bolt in on top. Come over to this side, you're going to do this 1 top bolt. I loosened up 4 of these fender bolts just so this thing can have play. Loosen up the bracket down here. There's 2 bolts on that. So now you can move this in and out a little bit because you might need to adjust it to fit the bumper. This one just needs to be moved just a hair. So I move it in a hair, get my pencil in there, mark where I want it cut or drilled out, and you can see I already did that. It's pretty close to where the original tab is, and now I'm going to drill that out. And then I'll put the bolt in on top, and then I'll do the bottoms. Okay guys, the reason why I do not pre-drill out the location for the holes is because these mounts, which are real thin, are easily bent back, pushed back, moved left and right. And I mean, even with the rubber bumper on, if you know, these cars are 30 years old, if somebody was to hit somebody, it doesn't take much to tweak these mounts. And that is the right reason why I do not pre-drill these mounts. Not that I can't do it, it's simple to do, but I don't want to have my customers have to worry about the fitting issues of their holes. Alright guys, so I got the first 1 bolt fully tight at the top on that side and this side. I get the fenders nice and lined up on the sides as good as I can get it. I loosened up the fenders here as well. Made sure the hood can still shut and the gap's not, you know, too bad on either side. You want it about the same on both sides. Next step is we have these bolts loosened up down here so this fender can come in and out. So what you're gonna do is pull it out and then bolt it down when you have it nice and level right there. You might need a partner to help you do this. Same thing on this side, pull it out till it's level, and then you're going to tighten down these 2 bolts here that hold the fender, and you'll be able to mark your holes for the other 3 in your bumper. Okay, both bolts are tight on both sides of the top. I went and tightened 1 down once I got the fender where I wanted it, where it's nice and flush. I went and tightened 1 bolt here once I got it where I wanted. Do that on both sides. Tighten 1 down here when you got this nice and flush. I haven't done this one yet, but I gotta tighten this one down next when I get it flush. Okay, once you got the bumper where you want it on the car, which I do now on the fenders, you're gonna get a pencil, gonna mark your holes in the last 3 holes down here. Take the bumper back off, drill out those markings on both sides, and then you can put this bumper on and you can bolt all 4 bolts in, and then you can start adjusting your headlights when you put them back on in your hood. Alright, so now I got the line as good as I can get it, flush. Now if you want this thing super perfect, not to say the gaps in this car are perfect, because they're really bad in the car itself, but if you did want it perfect, you could always put some masking tape on your fender on the inside and take this off and then put it back on, and then lay some filler down all the way in this crack, and you know, block it out and get it perfect so there's hardly any gap at all. And then take it off, and then peel your masking tape off, and then you'll have a good seam line. But overall the car's pretty gappy everywhere. Your hood lines are gappy, doors are gappy. I mean, it's a pretty gapped out car as far as I'm concerned. You see that gap? It's nothing consistent with this car. It's even here's a stock rear bumper. I mean, there's gaps there, really bad. But yeah, if you're going for show quality, show car quality, and look at the gap over here. It doesn't fit too good. Look at that gap. I mean, it's a terrible fitting doors back then with that fender. But if you're really trying to get an A+ on the fitment of these things, like I said, you're gonna have to put some filler down to get it perfect. And to me, I don't know if it needs it. It looks pretty good as it is right here. So I might not even do that on mine. Okay, also, when you take the bumper off, you have access to all this. If your car is not already black, mine's red, you have access to this bar, this slam panel, and all this red painted stuff. It's a good time. You know, you don't have to use professional paint. You could just get some aerosol cans of some black spray paint, about matte black, gloss black, whatever black you want, and just spray it in here real fast, just so it's nice and stealthy. Single stage paint works good by PPG. I have some leftovers that I used on the bumper that I might just spray this real quick, the whole front end, up to probably about here. I might go past the radiator bar. But as far as the engine, I'm not pulling the engine, so I'm going to leave it all red on the inside. Might do the very top right here where the vents are, but that's about it. I'm going to leave the engine alone. Okay, I'm going to show you guys how I install my turn signals. This particular bumper doesn't need to use the metal bracket, the stock one. Usually people cut it off on the ends and cut off the middle part and then mount it here, and it's rattly and crap. I don't like that, so I made mine with the shelf. So I just take my turn signal and lay it in here like that, drill out 2 holes and get some little screws and nuts like that. This is a 3/4 inch in length, and just screw it in there, nice and done real fast, and then just pop in your bulbs just like that. And also this gives support here, this little lip gives support to the exterior of your plexi cover. That's another reason why I like it like that, because you don't want your acrylics to be waving on hot days or sinking in or sinking up, and that's the reason why I left this half in, so it doesn't get that bowing effect. I want it nice and flat. And we're going to put some double-sided tape all the way around the border, and same thing with this side. Just lay it in, draw 2 holes, put your screws in, pop in your bulb, and you're done. It's really that simple, guys. No messing with cutting brackets and rattling noises of the bracket and all that crap. It's just really easy like this. Alright, since my car is red, I'm gonna go and shoot it with some PPG single stage real quick. Just gonna do the bar, slam panel, and this top piece. Later on I could do the top up over there, but for now I want to get everything that's covered, that the nose covers, done, so I don't have to worry about it later. Tape it off. I'm gonna put some paper, run it across the engine a little bit, and you don't really have to sand this too much. You can actually use some red Scotch Brite and just scuff it up. Same thing with the door jambs. You can use this, and just Scotch-Brite it, and that should, you know, give it enough adhesion for your paint. So you don't have to go all the way to metal or anything like that. It's a little tip there for you guys. Before you put your paint down, make sure if you have any bare metal spots, hit it with some self-etching primer. This one's by Sim. You don't want to leave any metal because that'll rust even if it's painted over. I scuffed it, the whole thing. I did hit it with 320 in some spots, and I scuffed it with the Scotch-Brite red, and so it's pretty much ready. I'm not going to primer it as it's got most of its paint on it, and just again just scuff it up, shoot it with some single stage or whatever you're going to use, and be good to go to put your bumper on. Alright, got it all taped up. For a job like this, you're not going to see it much. I mean, you could use a Harbor Freight gun, a cheap $10 gun. I got one of those. I'm thinking about using it, but I do have a more expensive gun, Devil Biss Techna Pro Light gun that I might use. I'm not sure yet. Because like I said, I'm not going to see it. It doesn't have to be super fine. You know, it doesn't matter about the orange peel or anything. So, I don't know. We'll see what I spray it with. Alright guys, I decided to use my Techna Pro gun. What the heck, it's my personal car, might as well. Forget the Harbor Freight crap. I'll use a $600 gun on it and see how it comes out. Alright guys, I use my Techna Pro Light, and this thing shoots really beautifully. It's the TE20 tip on it. I think it's a 1.3 fluid tip, 1.3 or 1.4. I can't remember which one I got on there. And I'll show you real quick. I sprayed it about 10 minutes ago. I'll show you how it looks. It's probably already almost dry because it's a hot day. And as you can see, it's beautiful. Could have used a cheap Harbor Freight gun, but it'd probably have a lot more runs in it, and it'd be too orange peely for my liking. So this gives you a nice clean look. If you guys want to get that gun, I'd recommend it. It's a $600 gun. I paid $430 for it online somewhere. You can find deals. But if you're going to paint your car, you want to have a good spray gun. And that Devil Biss brand is really good, but make sure you get a Pro Light. Those starter lines don't work as good as this. So now, I mean, I worked on it, what, 2-3 hours, and I've already got this painted for the bumper. Now my bumper can go on, and I don't have to worry about the red color showing through or anything like that. And it took me 2 hours of work, masked it off real quick, and here it is guys with the tape all off. And as you can see, it's just as nice as any body shop out there would do. And all of it's been done right here at my home in less than 2 hours. You guys will save a lot of money if you guys do it yourself stuff like this. I know it's not for everybody, but I'm one of those guys that likes to do things by himself, because there's that old saying, if you want something done right, you gotta do it yourself. One more quick video of it in the sun. I want this paint to bake a little bit. You could always cut and buff it if you want to. Alright, front end's nice and painted. It's nice and dry. Baked it in the sun. I see a lot of people ripping out their motors to paint inside. That's fine and all, but you don't have to do that. Just by doing the front end, I think it looks good enough. Whatever color the inside of the engine, it really doesn't matter. Only if you're opening the hood. Again, I'm going to do that top part though. If I do that black, you won't even know it was a red car. I'll do the hinges, both sides, and the top part, and I'll leave the engine bay red. Anyways, the red on black, it's gonna be a good two-tone look, I think. And a lot of the times the emblems in the show of Knight Rider use red, like in the gull wing and stuff. So I think it's gonna look good.